feel a lot of Weaver's strength is just bursting supports, but with Frost Armor, everyone's going to become quite tanky. There's also lockdown for him as well, so
this is, I guess,
it feels a little odd for me to go for Weaver here.
The most essential thing is that DK actually seemed to have a pretty good draft in this game.
Yeah, so this is not like an obviously terrible or questionable draft.
I feel like it's been hard to evaluate how well DK are playing in the previous two games because I felt like they've just been in a disadvantage in both games. In this one, I wouldn't just clearly give Na'Vi US an advantage in the draft. I think it's fairly even. So this is where DK can shine and actually show how good of a team they are by playing very, very well. And they have the tools, they have the heroes, they have the control as well. In this game, they can really fight with their heroes. They've always been in the back foot in the previous games. They have a lineup that's looking to take way more initiative. Morphling jumps in. Puck is an aggressive mid. Alchemist support, roaming around ganking. Timbersaw, in your face, right? Wow, that's a really... What is that Timber set?
That's the self-made pro gear by... I was just looking at it. Yeah, that's
that
iceiceice pro gear.
That hat is just like perfect for iceiceice.
That's a really cool set, actually. Well, let's introduce the teams here real quickly.
A cup of hot chocolate.
We've got the hot chocolate lover himself, iceiceice in the off lane, MMY Momoya on the Lich. iceiceice wanted him to play a 1v1 tournament, but never actually has done it yet. Burning will be playing your Morphling. Going down bottom will be Mushi on the puck, and that does leave Lanham as the Alchemist. On the dire side, we've got Na'Vi US. Fog, the Shadow Shaman, had a sensational Scarith Mage performance earlier. Snake King, your Weaver. Mid will be, well, 1437 denying a creep. Is he actually... What's going on here? Some fissure blocking shenanigans. Now Korok, okay, blocks the bottom lane, then he heads mid. So he does draw the lane back for Brax. And, you know, Cinnamon, I feel this is important to discuss because you mentioned how bad Elder Titan can be on the dire off lane, but this fissure block makes it more manageable.
I'm surprised to see Brax not blocking the wave a little bit himself, because even with that fissure block, the wave is actually going to start pretty far down. I guess he's going to get experience here since Alchemist and Puck can't pressure him out of the lane, but yeah, we'll see if Brax can manage to keep distorting the equilibrium, or even better, get it to his own tower. That's the ideal situation for him right now.
I gotta say, this mid lane is not gonna be fun for Korok. He's up against a Lich Morphling as a melee hero, and an Earthshaker to boot. I don't think we're gonna see an out-of-control carry ES unless he gets some help this game.
Yeah, the moment, what DK are gonna do is they'll be pulling the lane back to their own cliff, and Korok doesn't have the best tools of dealing with it. You can try to push with Fissure, but the way you usually handle this kind of creep equilibrium is that either you mess up the equilibrium by pulling the aggro by issuing attack commands, or you push out the lane really fast so that it reaches the enemy tower. But it's a level 1 Fissure, it's not gonna work. And DK can actually just keep controlling the lane, just run in circles with the creeps, and they can keep denying with MMY. Korok is gonna have a really hard time. He's doing a great job though.
He's got 3 CS,
this is
which
really
is quite good.
Really
he's seen less creeps, and he's up against 2 ranged heroes, but I think the one other concern is that they can kill him once they get to, say, level 5 or so. If you dive him with the level 3 waveform and the Frost Blast, that's a lot of burst damage. Top lane, meanwhile, your Timbersaw dropping pretty low. Iceiceice not having the best time here, and chewing through his regen rather quickly at that. Weaver, Shadow Shaman, I'd say one of the better combos to deal with a Timber at the early levels, but later on, when the reactive armor stacks up, it gets quite a bit tougher.
What's the interaction between shackles and reactive armor? How many stacks do you get while you're shackled? Is it every second?
I'm not actually sure.
Or, because shackles deals a lot of instances of damage, right? It's like a continuous stream.
That's correct.
So
it's not one damage.
So what I'm wondering is, let's say iceiceice gets level 2 reactive armor. How quickly does he go up to 8 armor? Because at that point, Weaver is like tickling.
Oh, Korok, this is bad. Alchemist sitting mid. He's even got the acid spray, and now they go. They drop the spray. They're channeling the stun, and it will be first blood. Lanham claims it. DK, to me, Synderen, they're at their best when they are roaming early on. We've seen fantastic Lion roaming from MMY and Lanham. We've seen MMY's Mirana has single-handedly carried them to the point where they were overpicking the Mirana even, and well, already they're finding a bit of momentum here, and they need it, as they will find first blood in this game.
Exactly, they're really good when they're roaming early on, but the previous 2 games they've been trying to roam with like weird heroes.
Juggernaut and Skyra, which actually the funny part is worked in 2 other games.
Yeah, 2 other games the Juggernaut worked, but I think that honestly it might have been a little bit of a fluke, because in those 2 games, first of all, they did a better job at farming, but at the same time, it makes you think, couldn't they just have done the same with other heroes, right? Was Juggernaut actually the driving force? Was he amazing in those games, or would an alternative just have been better? And maybe DK just analyzed...
off guard.
Yeah,
it really did. Maybe
DK analyzed the situation incorrectly, and they were like, wow, this Juggernaut is actually amazing, when perhaps Another solution could have been better. Well, it seems like they've at least gone away from it. They're letting the Alchemist play the roaming role in this game. Well, it sets them up an easy first blood. And could have probably got that with a Juggernaut, actually. That kill. They could have gotten the Juggernaut.
They had the right rune, and I believe there was no vision for NATUS US of what the rune was as it spawned top. So, a bit unfortunate for them, but with that being said, Lanham doing a nice job here in the jungle. Goes for the double pull through the Elder Titan offlane. We should compare these two. How are they doing so far? He's actually level 4, so to be honest, Brax has had a great start to this game. He's level 4 and actually dead even with the Timbersaw. No, yeah, just about even with the Timbersaw right now.
Yeah, and he got a Soul Ring. I would say he's actually leading. He's got 3 CS and a Deny more, and iceiceice is getting a little more experience, but just by him being in the Radiant offlane and being tied with him is a really great situation. Lanham! Oh, that's a big kill for NATUS US, and it's going to be Brax claiming it as well, getting a lot more gold here. His Soul Ring is already on the way out. He's going to be doing great on this lane, I feel.
The last time we saw actually NATUS US run offlane Elder Titan, it was them that I saw run it last, and the hero did nothing. It got completely zoned out, but I feel like that first Fissure block might just be, you know, what the Doctor ordered. The other thing is, their dual lane isn't that strong at the early levels. The Puck Alchemist is not a hugely high octane killing combo. Once they get their levels on the Alch, I think they can, but well, Brax has got the Soul Ring and he can just keep on spamming the Spirit and get vision. So then the Alch will maybe have to smoke if he wants to go. Speaking of which, Lanham, I think the player to keep an eye on for DK now heading towards the top lane. Can they set something up here with the Timbersaw?
He is level 5. If they manage to catch Fogged out with a stun, it's a definite kill. They've got plenty of pure damage going next to the trees here. Especially if they get a turnaround gank here, but...
He's about to be revealed. Oh no, sorry, smoked up. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
They could kill Weaver if they get a good duration stun off. He's only level 5.
I think that's the harder kill because Shadow Shaman will just counterplay. He'll just shackle or hex the Timber and Weaver will get out. They have to go on the Shadow Shaman, but I think Lanham gives up on it. It's not going to happen. Instead he'll rotate out Ward, maybe look for another gank on Korok in the mid lane to really shut him down. And Korok has been doing a great job, I think. Having 11 CS at this point I think is perfectly fine. Actually, he's going to be in trouble. Here comes the concoction.
Well, it's something. They don't kill off Korok though. Finally, the Acid Spray, the Lich Blast will bring him down burning. Strength morphing for all he's worth. There is a black hole, and they're going to use it now, I feel. Is it needed? Yep, they'll throw it out. They get the burning kill, and then 1437 keeps on channeling to kill off the wave. Why the hell not? Well, they do get a Morphling kill. End of the day, that's worth it.
That was a good trade for NATUS US, especially if they can go the tower, unless if this happens, Lanham again.
Got ult. Mushi's got ult. He's gonna go in with the coil. Brax will pay. That's a really highly leveled offlaner. Doesn't get off the stomp. Down he goes. And the experience goes right back the other direction. iceiceice getting a bit across up top, but well, he's about to be ganked. Here comes the wraparound. 1437, untimely haste rune, and an untimely demise for iceiceice. He wants the Timber chain through. Can he get it off? He does, but 1437 jukes it. Still ticking down to the Malefice. He comes back in for a poke, and Korok
out of nowhere
jams it in.
A line of packages.
Yeah, what is this? What is this cosmetic?
Middle tower is under attack.
I'm not a fan. I gotta say, I love almost all the cosmetics in Dota 2, but the Fissure cosmetics are too much. Here we go, Chain Frost mid, and they find the kill once again. Another death for Korok, not having that powerful start he did in previous performances. And now, does Mushi look for more? He's got phase boots. No mana to dive this one.
So 4 for 3 for DK, off to a decent start here. Burning leader on the farm charts as well from that dual lane mid, and they've chosen to rotate him to the bottom here to secure themselves some more safe farming. As far as the offlane goes, we're going to have a level 6 Timbersaw now coming in for iceiceice, who, given, I feel like any sort of rotation right now from Alchemist top lane is a kill if he lands the stun. At this point, now that Timber is level 6, they can even burst the Weaver in one shot during that stun. As long as Shadow Shaman isn't ready for the counterplay, it's definitely a high-profile kill right now. The Weaver is going to be the big hero for NATUS US.
And he's going Midas as well, so
yeah,
if you can kill him now, that's really good.
That's a big... Delaying the Midas is going to be crucial here, and especially since Burning isn't. So, Burning will be going Treads first and try to...
Looking for a Fissure.
Mid lane.
Here comes the Fissure. They find iceiceice now hexed up and doesn't really have anywhere to go. The Shackles will also connect, and
very nice kill by
Korok's movement.
Perfect Fissure.
Really good movement. He's been shut down mid.
Amazing.
But his movement's made up for it. Yeah. And it's even after getting shut down mid. I mean, let's be honest, he was getting just destroyed, but that's the power of the Shaker. Even if he has a bad start, he's still a great roamer. Speaking of great roaming, here comes Lanham once again. Onto the bottom lane he goes, and he looks for Brax now. Will he find him?
I think top lane might actually be the lane to watch. Mushi can get a 3-man coil and cancel at the 4 orb as well. The TP in from iceiceice. Here we go, double coil, will jump in, silence on 3!
That's a lot of damage in the follow-up. No, Echo Slam gonna prevent it. iceiceice. Oh! Away. One more Plink will bring him down, but Snake came to trade. Did he buy the Midas? I believe he got it in time. It's on the courier, so I guess Crisis
and
averted
now
the bottom.
Here
Comes the outstun, the wave as well. A DK. They find 4,
Radiant
and they only
structures
give up
are
the Timber,
fortified.
who, to be fair, is having a rough game, but I think well worth the trade.
Absolute great movement here from DK. This is a different team than we've seen in the 2 past games. They've stepped it up and they've had to do it. They're delivering right now. Another guy who's delivering is 1437 in the mid lane, delivering a lot of damage onto the tower, but Lanham with a defensive TP here will hold it.
Beautiful transition.
Yes, it's
that was a grade A for sure.
Thank you very much. I try.
You really delivered on that one as well. Nicely done. Well, Snakey does get his Midas out for NATUS US, but looking towards the mid game, Sin, how do you rate the 2 lineups? Like, we've gotten through the laning stage. DK have had a much better start than most games. They're more flanks farming well. The Puck's gonna have a fairly quick Blink Dagger. In fact, very quick. He's up to 1800 gold.
And but phase boots too. On the
yeah,
so
and
it's really hard.
So how do you evaluate each team's mid game strategies? What are their strengths and who's ahead?
I would say definitely DK are ahead because NATUS US are way more dependent on Blink Daggers. The Shaker without Blink I think is pretty underwhelming. We talked about it during the draft. Who's going to initiate and set it up? Yes, he can do a Fissure and they can maybe do the Elder Titan combo, who actually, he did go for a point in Echo Stomp on level 7. So they do have the combo you were talking about, but I still think DK has more to play around with. A Puck with a Blink Dagger is a great counter player to a hero like Shaker, Shadow Shaman, who could be the initiators. And Timbersaw, I think, is the one hero to really look out for. You saw the damage from iceiceice in the top engagement. They were 2 heroes. It was the Timbersaw and the Puck who the 2 of them almost killed 3 heroes before the Lich ported in and finished off the job. So, I would say advantage DK. They're also getting the better farm.
We've got a Smoke, or Enigma, or a Shaker. They're grouped up. And looks like they want to head towards top. They stopped off in the river for a moment. And here we go. iceiceice. He's rotating back, but if there's 5 here, and if he dies, the tower is definitely going down. Oh no, Fissure to start. Malphite to follow. Are they going to hold for this as well? Yes, they are. Kill secured. And now NATUS US will look for their tower.
And the Astral Spirit is finally going to return. It's crossed the entire map.
Radiant's top tower
And now Brax is going to receive his bonus damage. We'll probably like it in that gank, but nice rotation from Navi here, getting the tower.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's crucial for them to get map
Dire's
control, I think. When
bottom
DK are
tower
off
is
to a
under
good start
attack.
and you know how well Burning farms, taking out towers, just making them uncomfortable moving around the map is pretty much the key thing to do at this point. And
They really don't have much to do with the foreplay though. Without the Blink Daggers, they can't deal with them.
He's going to be a really big issue. Shadow Shaman is the greatest answer, but he doesn't have a blink like you said, so getting in on
Dire's
Burning is
middle
hard.
tower is
And even
under
though
attack.
NATUS took the top tower, they almost traded the bottom one for it. Burning almost getting it in deny range here, but actually perfectly not doing it.
Oh, and they're gonna do it now. If this smoke egg succeeds, at
Dire's
least 1
middle
tower,
is under
possibly
attack.
even 2 will fall. With no black hole available, NATUS US will have a much more difficult time
boy,
defending.
NATUS are TPing in as well. Oh,
Fox is in
Fox
position.
in trouble.
But Mushi can go in, he face shifts first, then he blinks in, he still finds Fog, the squishy Shadow Shaman, no match for the Puck.
Oh,
Now
Lanham.
Lanham stuns. We'll connect on Korok. They take the tier 1 while this is going on.
Dire's
Burning secures the
bottom
gold, now
tower
up to
has
1400, and they also get down some wards. Not sure if NATUS US saw these. Sentries are available on Fogged, and he may look for a D-ward soon. Mushi, he'll have to orb out. He's gonna find a haste turn as well.
And they got a full rotation. It's not only about the tower, but the entire NATUS US team was down there in vain. It means iceiceice gets some really important gold here in the top lane, securing his arcane boots as well. It's probably 2 or 3 creep waves for the cost of nothing here. So very good decision making from DK here. I guess if you're NATUS US there, you completely understand their movement. They just weren't ready.
Oh, here we go. It's the Roche sneak. It's the Dire advantage. They've got the wards, they've got the Enigma. He can do it by himself, but they'll do it quick with the wards. And into the pit they go. No Radiant Vision of this one just yet. They smoked in for it, and DK are just going to have to give it away. They don't know, and even if they came now, it would already be too late.
That's a great call from Navi in this situation. They were all bottom anyway, so they make sure they don't waste their rotation, but get something valuable out of it, something meaningful, while at the same time Brax is putting some sort of pressure bottom. So with that lane being pushed out, DK still have to push out their lanes again. It wasn't just a Roshan for the cost of a tower, because they did it while they had the lane control in their favor. So very, very nicely done here. Snaking with the Midas is going to get himself some more gold in the mid lane, but wow, just look at the net worth actually. It's worth pointing out now how far Burning is getting ahead, and this is without a Midas build as well.
Yeah, the Weaver has a Midas. He's still down 1,000, 1,500 gold, 1,000, 1,400. That is a substantial deficit for this early on. Well, here comes the rotation mid. They're going to stomp the wave to clear it out, and they have picked up a mech on NATUS VINCERE US. And that's the other big thing to mention with their lineup is, even from a deficit, which right now they're down about 3k gold it looks like, and 4k experience, they do have a really strong 5-man, and they may try to push that with this mechanism. That being said, I think DK have really good counter-initiate with the Puck Blink Dagger as well. Let's see if they try to force anything. Bottom lane, looks like that's where they'll go, but in comes Lanham, and he's ready to fight. He's popped his ultimate. He wants them to go on him, and they're not really cooperating. They just Malefice. Tower defended, and it looks like DK also backing off top, so both teams just dancing, but nobody committing as of yet.
Uh-oh, mid lane, Korok has to get out of there now. Oh, he does have the Aegis, but they could just burn that here.
Yeah,
they could
probably
force
worth
to use it right away. I think they should have perhaps
they saw
gone for
Mushi,
that,
he poked his head out.
Yeah.
He'll back off.
I guess DK worried about the counter initiation from Shadow Shaman, but they have a lot of burst damage between the Lich and the Puck. And that's one of the great things about running a support Lich. He's level 9 in a 14-minute game, which is very, very high. It's how it generally goes with Liches. And Lanham is level 7 on the Alchemist. It's been one of DK's problems in the previous games that their supports just haven't been getting the levels. But in this game, they're definitely up to par here. Good levels on both of them. Actually almost keeping up with an Enigma for Navi, which is very impressive. Lich almost has the same experience.
The other thing is, if this does go later, Alchemist is one of those supports that can transition into a very fearsome late game carry even. Probably won't be the hard carry for the team, but can supplement the Morphling's damage, tank, and initiate with a BKB. There's a Spirit mid. MMY's got to juke that stomp, barely makes his way out. It would have been the death of him. And not only are they leveled, Sin, but they're far. Our Lich nearly has a mech. We're only 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Can they defend mid is the question.
Flip.
They won't even bother.
That's a good last hit for Korok. I think it's good for him to get it instead of Shadow Shaman. Although Shadow Shaman could have also been pretty close to the Blink now, but I guess the Blink on Shaker right now should be one of the biggest priorities for Navi. I want to point out the Alchemist set being used by Lanham. I think this is that's kind of funny actually. He's using the full Alliance equipment from TI3.
Maybe hoping for some good luck to come his way.
They won last year, so
it must be good.
Well, he's been playing well so far with it, so perhaps they just need to pick the heroes with the right cosmetics for them. iceiceice is wearing his set, and he's doing great too. With his 1, 4, and 2.
He is not doing great. He's
actually been playing well. He's just been countered really hard, but this is one of those games where it's just the proof that KDA is not equal to success. He's had a big impact in the game.
Well, and he might have more, as they're threatening the tier 1 top, and there's no glyph available. If they go on this, it's going to be a disaster. Mushi's ready. The last hit goes to iceiceice, and suddenly, he's up to 2,000 gold. Korok's waiting. He doesn't have a blink though. Even if he goes in on this, there's some backup in tow, and they might lose Snake King. Mushi's ready, in position in the trees. Well, actually, Timber chain out while Mushi jumps in, unloads the Silence. Now the Timbersaw over the top needs to connect on this. It's too late, and now he's in too far, and now the backup swarms. iceiceice, he took too long with that chain. He just didn't have the angle, and now runs. But with the Weaver slowly taking him down, he will fall. It was just a little bit unfortunate. The second he chained out, that's when Mushi went in.
Yeah, it looked like miscommunication more than anything else, because NATUS US wanted to go on him, it looked like. They used the Fissure, so he could have baited them a little bit longer and then have Mushi jump in, but they weren't really sure what they wanted. But bottom lane, Lanham is sure what he wants. He wants to drop the bomb. We'll do it.
So DD on burning as well. He's going to melt through him. And, well, does he get it off? Chain Frost? That will clean the kill up.
Nice.
It's not the one they really wanted. They'd rather get the Elder Titan, but they'll settle for wards and a Shadow Shaman. It's basically 2 hero kills when it comes to the gold anyway.
Oh, burning is getting so big. This is going to be a 17.5-minute Lincoln's without Midas build, with Treads, Bottle, and Wand. He's looking really good at this point, and again, we talked about it. What are Navi's actual counters? They have Astral Spirit, Natural Order, which is going to be absolutely huge, but someone needs to do that physical damage, and Weaver just isn't there at all yet. It's going to take a long time.
But he's not farmed. That's the big concern.
He does have the blink now, though. But with only 1 point in Enchant Totem, if he had 4 points in that, if he had been prioritizing that over Fissure, he could take away half, if not more, of Morphling's hit points in just one attack with Astral Spirit on top.
Yeah, let's not forget about Frost Armor though. It's the Ice Armor. It's already level 2, and now the coil comes mid. They find Bugged again, but he gets off the Hex. Great reactions from Bug. Now Mushi needs to orb his way out of this one. He doesn't get the kill, but he's got to retreat. He's got Phase Shift. He's got a Blink Dagger, but the Blink's gonna get disabled. Now Fissure secures the kill, and NATUS US are just too quick. Great reactions there from Bug. And Mushi didn't get the silence off in time. I think if he had silence right away, they would have gotten that one.
If Korok knew where Lanham was there, he would have probably killed him there, actually. Could have blink enchanted, but he went out of vision, didn't know where he went, so...
This is all space created for burning, though. He is up to 9.2k, and his team is not completely behind like they were last game. So it still feels solid for DK, despite these few bad ganks. But Navi US climbing their way back into the game.
It's a pretty damn even game. I think these 4,000 experience and 2,000 gold don't really matter right now, because it's all about who gets the right initiation. The wombo combos on both sides are absolutely huge. There's so much AoE damage and control for both of them. I'm interested to see what approach Navi US take to this, since there's a cloak on 1437, so I'm thinking he goes for a pipe here. Is that the call for them to start pushing towers, or are they just looking at other objectives like map controlling and getting Roshans again? And what's their thought on burning? Actually, they see his farm. They know this is a problem. But what's the response? They're not item building against burning as such.
I think they're confident they can take it late. The other thing that's great against Morphling here is Midnight Pulse, which they also have. So
that's true.
Maybe they just feel the Morphling's not actually an issue if it goes late. Lanham gets caught out. He does have his ultimate, but needs to retreat now. As well, Mushi's coming in. Mushi's coming in. If you go on Lanham now, it could end very poorly for Navi US. But they won't commit. I think my big concern for Navi US is just how much the Pug can do if this goes late as well, in combination with the Morphling. The two of them can just run around. Any hero who's off on their own can be picked off. Navi US don't really have the mobility that DK brings to bear. And if this is an even game late, even Timbersaw, very mobile, they can spread the map, and they should be the ones who are able to control the tempo a bit better. Navi US want the team fights late game, and I think that's DK want the pickoffs and the split push.
I think DK also want the team fights if Lanham is farmed.
Yeah.
If they can just send the Alchemist in front with 4 items, maybe 3 or 4 items, he doesn't even need to be 6 slotted. The thing about having a 4-position Alchemist in a late game is that if he leads the charge, and you know you kind of have to deal with him because he's actually pretty strong, the amount of space he creates for the other cores is just insane. And when you run a support Alchemist and you get away with it like this, and it doesn't look like Navi US are looking to pressure at any point, I think just economic advantage DK, even though they're up against a Midas Weaver, I don't think that's enough.
Mushi, he's camping out mid, and he's looking for an opening here. The End wearing off soon. Looks like he's gonna back off. Doesn't find the opening. He actually hasn't found as many as I thought he would this game. 3-1 and 3, which is definitely a solid performance, but it's credit to Navi US not getting caught out too much. Right as I say that, someone will probably get caught out.
Oh, there's the slot on Lanham. Do I want to go for this? No.
Yeah, top lane. This is where they want to go. It's Snake King that Mushi's waiting for. As soon as someone shows up in this top lane, he'll go in. But meanwhile, the Echo Slam onto MMY. Fissure comes through as well. Korok pounces. The Alk is going to stun himself, and do they continue the chase? It's really far. Meanwhile, Snake King still being hunted, but they can't find the opening.
Snake King's playing this really smart. He knows the risk right now with Mushi. Since Mushi didn't show in the mid lane when they initiated with the Shaker, he's probably hanging out top. He's been off the map for about 30 or 45 seconds, so the chance that it's the top lane he's in is probably the highest one. He at this point he won't be standing behind the Morphling. There's no real reason to, and with iceiceice pushing up this far, it kind of looks like they're up to something.
Yeah, either that or just iceiceice beat iceiceice. But bottom lane, they've gone in on burning. They Fissure him to start the fight, and here we go. Well, do we go?
Here we go.
That's the question.
Astral Spirit.
Oh baby, it's getting hot in here. Orb coming through. Fog caught out in the trees. Well, he's dead. The question is, does he bait DK into a bad engagement? With the ward drop, they now throw out the Midnight Pulse, and the Black Hole comes, instantly canceled by MMY. Beautiful reaction. Now 1437 plays the Fissure, just a bit too late, and now Mushi's on the hunt. He orbs through to the tree line. He's not gonna find anyone waiting there. And man, that Lich, the positioning was just pristine. And actually, this is the same situation where Vici Gaming's Lich won them the game. Fenrir, time and again, was canceling Black Hole with Shade Frost, so we may see the same thing happening this game for DK.
Yeah, this tower is probably going to go down as well. I don't think Navi US have what it takes to defend. Echo Slam's on cooldown, and he's actually even in the mid lane right now. Mushi going in on Korok, actually dealing significant damage, but needs to be a little bit careful against the tower. Uh-oh, uses the regen, blinks as well, and maybe now Mushi can turn again on Korok. He will have another orb.
He's got an orb, but he's not going to actually connect with this one. There's no Fissure for a long time. Mushi's going to continue pursuit. Korok, blink in 1 second. Mushi, blink is available. Too late with the silence. Korok, one finger faster, will make his way out. It was close though, Sid.
That was
very
really close. And if nothing else, what Mushi accomplished is he forced the Shaker out of the lane, and that means the tier 1 mid is now exposed as well. Navi US already moved down to the middle, to the bottom lane to try to defend against the Morphling and weren't successful. That's 2 towers down. Deny attempt from 1437 not going to come through.
Fallen.
Now, I'm still waiting for Weaver to
attack.
become a factor. He has been part of 6 out of 8 9 kills, which is great, but we're reaching a point in the game now where Snake King needs to start dealing damage, but he went for BKB first. I think DK just ignored the Weaver, honestly. They let him run around, deal a little bit of chip damage here and there, but he's not going to kill off this Morphling by any stretch.
He's getting big as well. With the E-Blade coming out, that's where you check HP pools, and Shadow Shaman's an easy shotgun target. Weaver, if someone else can lock him down first, I think they could still kill him, but they need like an Alk Stunner on the trees, which is not the most reliable. And Earthshaker, not a solo kill with 1300 health, but if there's a +1, that's where he dies. And there's no one hero on Navi US where like he could just walk around and kill anyone. They don't have that same threat from a single hero, and that's an advantage DK will have to work with.
Roshan trying to be snuck here by Navi US. I think this time DK realizes something is wrong though. They do have a replicate for another 15 seconds on Burning. It's following through. It's the fake iceiceice. And Navi are sticking with this. This could be a huge mistake. iceiceice is in a really good position here.
They don't even have Black Hole, and now
there we go!
You're trapped. Coil broken instantly. The stun connects on 1. Hits 1437, then the Chain Frost bouncing to and fro. Breaks down another 2, and they're on the run at this point. They've got to get out of the pit, but Roshan's even working for DK. Bashes Korok, and the follow-up is there. It'll be a waveform kill secure for Burning, and now an easy Rosh. 3 kills, maybe make it 4. Fog caught out, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Should be fully next, and Snakey will try here. He wants at least to get Mushi for his team. He's got the vision, and he's going to commit to this kill. The mana pool is low for Mushi, and he's got the bug to beat him down. The creeps are trying to save him. Can he blink out? He can't. Snake King will get the kill, but it comes, it looks like, at the cost for Roach. And it goes to Burning. And just as he gets the Aegis, he gets the Ethereal Blade as well.
He might be looking for a kill immediately. He might know that Snake King is actually in the mid lane here, but the warding from Navi US is actually really good, so Burning would not be getting in there. Huge win for DK at this point.
They even have a Shadow Blade on the Alk. That's how much farm DK is getting. And now they're up 10k gold, 10k experience. Well, Sin, the Lanham draft seems to be working out so far.
It's gonna be so hard for US to come back into this game. The problem is the Weaver with this defensive item build, he'll need to get another damage item or he'll need to get an actual damage item at this point. But with how the game has been going so far, everything he farms, DK will just be farming more collectively. Timbersaw will be getting farmed at the same time. Morphling will be getting towards either a Mantis Style or a Butterfly at this rate, maybe even a Scotty. And the Alchemist, 2 points in Greeble Screed, soon to be 3. He can, you know, if Alchemist gets 2 items more, he can solo the Weaver from full HP. Shadow Blade hit, stun, and then just maul away at him, especially if he chooses to get an Abyssal Blade or something like that.
The gem is a really nice pickup. Between him and the Morphling, they can already kill the Weaver. And this is their one stun that kills him, is the Alk stun. They don't really have anything else that will deal with the BKB, but with this, Weaver can't feel safe to split push, and he needs to be split pushing if Navi US want to stall this game.
It's going to be really, really tough. Burning, playing with a lot of confidence here in mid. He knows that if Navi US are to kill him, they have to commit big ultimates, and he has the Aegis. So if that happens, they probably just trade the Aegis for a tier 2, which they're going to be fine with. Big item alert for iceiceice. He's going to pick up the Boots of Travel, and I mean, he was 1-4-2. It's a 27-minute game. He's now got an 11-charge Bloodstone, Boots of Travel, Ogre Club working on the BKB, and it's a good Timbersaw game with the BKB. We said it in the draft. He's playing against double melee and a Weaver. I think
he's
Navi
going to have his
going to have to
openings
go
in
for
these
some sort of big play soon. I think just getting good farm is not good enough anymore.
It's basically a quad core lineup for DK.
Yeah.
They have 4 carries. Alchemist will out-carry a Weaver late game.
Lich is also one of the best late game supports just by virtue of how good Ice Armor is. Yeah. So,
and they're, I would say, pretty reliant on physical damage this game, because you look at DK and they have this huge AoE combo and Navi.
Oh, Latham gets the stun on Brax. Will Puck follow through here? Mushi's thinking about it. I think they're going to disengage now, though.
Are they still chasing?
Oh, iceiceice with the flank.
Comes the Weaver from the backside. He wants to go in. They're going to force a retreat out. Oh! Shotgun! Almost killing Snake instantly. He's already used the time lapse.
My goodness.
Burning fires a parting shot, and now they look for 1437. The orb will clash through.
Nicer splitter. Never mind. Not nicer.
Hex on the Burning. Now Lanham on the chase. Waves over the top. He doesn't have a shotgun here. The Alk will stun himself. A rather chaotic and messy fight for both teams. The Weaver lives, but no BKB for some time. A full minute before he can use that one again.
That's a tier 2, I think.
And they've got this Aegis for 3 minutes.
There is, never forget the Korok, the Dunk. Dunk is available, but if DK played it smart, they probably just put the Morphling in front. He starts hitting the tower. They can even use the replicate to try to make a fake play here.
And you can't go on the Morphling. You go on the Morphling, you're getting counter-initiated.
iceiceice is actually starting to make a path out here, looking for Korok perhaps, but...
He's playing the lore of the Timbersaw beautifully. He hates trees and he's here to destroy them all. Burning, looking for the last of the tower. The Fissure will break the Lincoln Sphere. He waves over the top, and now shotgun at the ready. The outguns here. There's no BKB at 1437. Look for the shotgun. Burning, not throwing up enough damage, it looks like. Now the Timbersaw jumping back in. Korok caught out. Chain Frost to fly. It bounces once, twice. That's it, but it's good enough. They get the kill, and now they look for more. They've got their Aegis. Burning's coming back. Snake Heat on the run. He time lapses, but he's still caught even with the Sakuchi. It's not enough. Burning finds another kill, courtesy of Lanham's gem. And DK are rampaging over Navi US. They found their footing here, and they needed to find it right now. 6 and 5, and danger of falling to a 50% win rate, but now looking at their first lane of racks, and if all goes well, a 7 and 5 bounce back as day number 3 continues.
This is reaching the point when it's almost impossible for Navi US to come back. Do they have a buyback on Weaver? Yes, they do. I think they have to go. They need to try to make a big play here with some sort of setup, but Enigma has a really hard time getting in. He's got Mech and Pipe, which is great, but he can't get into the fight. He doesn't have the Blink BKB build that you would need to go in, and even if he gets a Black Hole without BKB, the amount of counter-initiate, Adaptive Strike, pretty much instant cast, Chain Frost, Dream Coil, even an Alchemist stun charge for a 10th of a second could stop them.
The Pipe, there's a lot of magic damage, but there's... And so Pipe seems like a decent item, but there's so much that it almost doesn't matter. Puck alone can break the Pipe with his combination of nukes. Then you throw the Timbersaw on top of that, the shotgun, the Lich Chain Frost, if they get good bounces.
And the Timbersaw to a large extent even ignores it. It's pure damage. It goes through it.
Yeah.
Only the Whirling Death will be magic damage.
And only if you don't hit a tree.
If you don't hit a tree.
And honestly, you're usually going to hit a tree in these fights. Oh, it's... Even if he got BKB, there's still the Chain Frost to cancel Black Hole, but at least you cut down on a number of ways that DK have to deal with you, and, well, unfortunately, they just don't have those openings. Now DK are gonna back off for now. There's really no hurry for them. They can keep on farming this one out. It's Navi US who feel desperate. It's Navi US who have to make something happen, and Smoochie waiting to punish any aggression. Hides in the trees. And Navi US making their way to the high ground, still searching for that opening. The Stomp will go through on the creep wave at the tower. There's some split push from the Weaver bottom lane, but we keep our attention mid, where Navi US is still fishing. They'll force out a TP, but Burning is perfectly happy to farm. He's only got 2 big items, looking still for the Manta Style and more to come, and Mushi is hunting him. He's gonna find Snake Heat now. Actually, he'll blink away. He got a little bit nervous there. Fissure coming through, just on the creep wave. And, well, it looks like in the end the split push will be dealt with. The tower denied bottom lane by Bernie, and they will end up backing off.
I think it's time for DK now to go for another objective. Or, well, like you said, they actually don't have to, but they're in a position now where they could probably do it. I guess their mentality right now is, okay guys, this is a really important game to win, let's not make any mistakes. They're probably in a position where if they take a fight, they will win it, but the small risk of running into that wombo combo that Navi US can pull off might just keep them playing it a little safer a little longer.
And they have to have seen the items as well. This Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger and a Staff of Wizardry. When Korok was carrying on his Earthshaker, he had a Heart, Force Staff, Blink Dagger, and I believe a Refresher Orb in that game as well.
Yeah, he got that in the end, I believe.
And he just doesn't have
Snake. Okay.
So Adam's just bullying him. When the 4 position Alk is driving your Weaver out of his own jungle, you know you're behind.
It's go time for DK. They just bought a BKB on Burning. That means they want to fight. Else he would have got the Manta Style if he wanted to farm. So
one thing worth mentioning is that the Midnight Pulse does go through BKB. So I don't know if it worked that way in Dota 1, but that is actually a lot of damage.
I think it did. It's universal damage. It's one of the very special damage types. There are only like 4 or 5 abilities in the game.
March of the Machines.
Doom, March of the Machines, Midnight Pulse. The initial stomp from Echo Slam, the base damage is universal, and the spread damage
is magic. That's one of the weirdest spells in the game.
I think there's one more, but it doesn't come to mind right now. I'm pretty sure there's a fifth, but it might also just be those 4.
Here we go. He's going to initiate.
Oh my god, the damage!
Almost kills him off by himself, and now the coil into Korok. They found their opening here. It's the Earthshaker they want. The Earthshaker they'll get. Korok will fall. No crit shaker for you, sir, says DK, and now Timber trading deep as iceiceice, and they only get the 1 kill end of the day, but they will back off. Content. Oh no, they won't.
No, they won't.
So go for Fog. Mushi, he commits the shotgun follow from Bernie, finding that kill as well. Now a stun on the 1437, and once again it's iceiceice into the breach, fishing for an opening. Black hole no longer available. Doesn't have the mana for it. Could soul rate, but it wouldn't matter. They're hurting him back to the base. He'll never make it. Down he goes. Now onto Snaking. One more right click. He'll fall as well. It's an ultra kill for Mushi. The DD rune works its magic, and DK strike back at the 11th hour. This looks to be their game, Sid. It really does.
That's going to be the mid lane. Do they have any buybacks on Navi US? No, they don't. Weaver just bought the Desolator, but you barely even saw him dealing damage. And there's nothing against Snaking's play. I just think the way the draft has been working out and the way DK are executing these fights, it's very hard for the Weaver to go in. And we were skeptical with the pick when we saw it. We were like, Weaver needs a lot of farm. Does he have time to come online and actually get that amount of farm? And now that he does, they've just lost out so much already. Navi US might have had to, in this game, go for an earlier impact hero than Weaver, who generally, because of his abysmal stat gains, general Midas build-up, and the need to have at least 2 core items before you're really significant, just might not have been the right choice this time around.
I think the other thing is we saw the solo mid Earthshaker has its issues. It's just it has zero lane down. It's zero lane control if you put the right matchup there. And Quark's played really well considering the matchup,
yes,
but the nature of that matchup is you just can't do anything if you're up against the Morphling Lich. Morphling gets free farm and the Lich just completely shuts you down. Not on top of that, they were getting kills as well. As usual, I feel when DK wins, Lanham moves well early. MMY often there with him as well, and well, we saw Lanham was in the right place almost every time through this laning stage. Won at least 2 of the 3 lanes for them.
And it might just be the recipe for DK to go a little bit back to their roots, perhaps, and try to play some older classic stuff here with the dual lanes with Lich.
We may have
roaming alchemist.
Shadow Demon Mirana, perhaps.
Yeah, that could be a choice, or Shadow Demon Kunkka, which IG have been running, which isn't really a classic, but it's something that has been used in the past a couple of times. And just giving, I feel like DK are a really strong team when they actually just don't lose the laning stage. They don't even need to win it. They're one of the best late game teams in the business. They just need to not be at a 15,000 disadvantage like they were against Titan, then they're going to be okay. And so if they draft these roaming heroes that get a pick off here and there just to keep the game even, then Burning will generally pull through in the end, and we're seeing it here.
DK sieging the high ground. They're doing it slowly and carefully. No full commitment. It's Mushi waiting on the sidelines of the fight with a Hex, who will look to start this one off. If he gets a good jump, he takes out a critical hero. Earthshaker, Enigma. Enigma probably the ideal target. That could really turn the fight. And even though they want to go on the Timbersaw, he's got cheese, he's got a Bloodstone, a Plate Mail, and BKB. And it might even be iceiceice, who's the scariest hero on their team right now. Birdie's got one more, but this Timbersaw is going to wreak havoc if they don't bring him down.
He's got 15 Bloodstone charges as well, so he pretty much almost instantly respawns.
And remember his start, he had a rough game. Bottom lane, they find Snake King. He's doing what he must, which is to split push. He can't just sit in the base, or the game's already forfeit, but you leave the base and the Alchemist of the Gen will find you. It's just an almost inevitable death, I feel, given the situation.
And no buyback. That's a lane of racks. Even if they land their combo amazingly, I still think DK's got this, but actually no.
What's the hurry?
They
We've got room for more items at iceiceice. Let's push out all the lanes, so even if we lose a fight, we lose nothing else.
They might not know about the missing buyback, so I guess they don't want to risk it. And just showing a lot of respect to Navi US, to be honest. They know the combo is strong, and with Astral Spirit, of course, on top of it, that they can die. I'm not saying it's impossible.
They go in now. No Hex thrown out just yet.
They just need to do the right split. Lanham doing some damage here, but damn, Midnight Pulse is just such a good defensive ability.
It's so annoying to push into this. It really makes your life difficult. And I feel like DK are just thinking, well, we don't have to end this game now, and it's not looking easy. If we walk up the choke point, maybe it's like last game, where they should split, put the Morphling in one lane and 4 in the other. Because Navi US are much stronger as 5. When they have the Astral Spirit affecting everyone, the Echo Slam that can go through on anywhere from 3 to 5 when you cluster up mid, and the Black Hole Midnight Pulse combo. Maybe they have to heed that strategy from last game that Titan took against them. At the end. It took them a while to do it. We'll see. For now,
they have a bigger lead than Titan did though, actually.
It's
true. 25k. And 30k on the experience.
And
that's where those shotgun Morphling who can pretty much one-shot almost any hero on the Dire team that he wants, basically.
They are putting Bernie bottom now, so it seems DK have decided on a slightly spread formation. He can join this fight easily. He's got a replicate in the mid lane that can provide assistance from a distance if needed. And he'll keep on pushing forward. Still, Navi US, they have held their base thus far, but they need the most epic of combos if they want to actually find something.
And they're getting out-farmed because they can't go out of their base. The one time they tried with snaking, it got ganked. So DK will just get more and more per minute, and granted that they have the better late game, I'm actually surprised to see Navi US not trying for it. Even if it doesn't look like the ideal initiation, if they could try to find like 2 heroes and just go in, they have to be feeling the pressure right now and the need to go. And DK will not be giving them a free opening because they're an experienced team. They know how to end games like this. They know what position they're in.
The other thing,
or actually rather, they know how to not end games like this, which sometimes is the better call. Like, if you're the defending team, the entire map is controlled by the enemy, and you cannot go out. You just need to smoke and find a pick off and try to find some sort of
looking for
opening.
snaking. They've got the Hex. If they can jump him now. Mushi just waiting. He's got his opening, and they go in, but Korok was quicker! He connects with a big Echo Slam! That's on 2! The follow-up's there! iceiceice may also follow. It's a 2 per nil to start this, and Lanham's got to run, while Burning pushes in the bottom side of the map. Even though they lose 2, it seems they may find their trade regardless. The tier 3 nearly taken out, but what a beautiful counter-initiate that was by Korok.
On mid lane as well, Mushi's gonna get hexed up, and there's the Shackle as well. That's another kill.
It's a gem down the boot, but iceiceice returns. They have a black hole. Can they find the opening? 1437, 4-step, the wrong direction, just into the middle of the fight while Burning BKBs pursues out snaking. They want the bug. They want the Weaver. Can they finish the job? The stun's there. The follow-up. One more chop. It comes through, and down he goes. I feel Navi US played that perfectly, Sin, and still they lose their Weaver. They lose their Shaker. They had to blow the Echo Slam in the wards. And now what do they have once the puck respawns?
It's really good to see them going for the play, though. It's what you have to do in this situation. They're just too far behind, but they're doing the right thing. If the
Those reactions from Korok, that was legendary.
That was very, very fast. And
so fast.
Also, Fog following through there and catching out the puck, getting them a bonus kill. The one problem, I don't know if you noticed how much damage Burning actually took from the Weaver. He was under the Astral Spirit. He's got 32 armor, which isn't working under the Astral Spirit. So Weaver
needs the Frost armor.
Weaver hit him like 3 times.
I don't know if he had the Frost armor, because he was off split pushing.
I don't think he did.
That's one thing they have to, it sounds silly, but they may need to just make sure the Lich gives the Morphling Frost armor before he begins sieging the side lane. Because it can make the difference. They still have Black Hole. That's the one thing Navi US did not throw out in the last fight, and the one extra tool. We're also looking at additional buyback on Burning. And this may be the point, Sim, where they start stacking up cheeses and waiting for another Roshan, because there's not too much longer until the respawn can come.
If Navi US keep defending as well as they just did, then it might be a cheese that they're waiting for, but still a little surprised to see them not trying to use the Aegis. I think it expired about half a minute ago or a minute. Generally, if you're in that position with a Morphling this farm, you try to go for a shotgun kill. You know it's expiring, might as well try. If it doesn't work, you'll just get out afterwards. But DK are just playing it very safe here, probably waiting for maybe the Skadian Burning, which is actually there in about 1,000 gold.
I think we see why they were playing so safe as well. It looked like a almost unsavable Weaver, because if they just hex him, the shotgun comes through, he's just dead. There's no chance he gets off a BKB, but near the high ground, Navi US can ambush you with a lot of counter initiation. And maybe DK are wise not to force
snaking!
This is the better opening. He's up on the hill, but there are 4 here. They're smoked up behind him. He's not alone. This is a gambit. But not one DK will take the bait for. They're saying there's no way Snaking is this cocky. There's no way he's alone. And there's no other heroes on the map right now. If he goes down even further, this may be out too far. The Enigma's still waiting in reserve, but they need more than that. They're gonna need the whole squad. Lanham going into Invis. He hasn't started channeling the stun for this. There's no gem, no detection on Navi US. They can't actually see the Alk if he jumps in. And they will back off. That was a very risky move to go outside the base with no detection.
They have to. Okay, they could have detection.
but yeah, they can't just sit in their base and wait. At some point, DK will all get 6 slotted if it goes on like this.
It's a 35,000 experience lead actually at this point. The gold closing in on 30. And it's really...
The good news is if they win a fight, DK will be dead for ages.
Yeah.
That's the silver lining for Navi US.
It's pretty impressive that Navi US are defending this, to be honest. They do have great base defense, but generally these 25,000 gold leads, that's when games tend to end, even if you've got great defense. It's just too much, but Their lineup is tailored to do this, which is, it's going to bring me to my point. Why did they get a Weaver if they have an amazing turtle lineup and they want to play the late game? Was Naga banned?
It was banned. Last ban. It was the last ban.
Maybe you could.
But they could have fourth picked it. I don't think they had to.
They could have fourth picked it. They could have got like an anti-mage if they wanted to play this. Oh, that's not really a super late gamer either. He's actually not that good at super late game. What else do we have? Spectre could have even been a choice. Like, it looked to me like DK were showing their hand. They did not want to run any sort of aggression. Maybe you don't want to pick Spectre into Lich, but considering how the game is developed for NATUS US, I feel like the biggest problem with their drafts is that they're amazing in late game, but they have no late game apart from a Weaver who.
I think they were planning on the
hoping the Carry Shaker, but you pick that into Lich Morphling first.
You know it's going to be a Lich
happen.
Morphling miss.
It was pretty obvious from the beginning, so maybe next time go a little more greedy on your carry when you have this kind of defense. I mean, it's really impressive how they're managing to hold, but all this setup for a Weaver is he's not gonna pay it back.
I think Weaver is pretty scary 6-slotted, but the other thing is they picked into a Weaver after seeing a puck, which means he has to go BKB, and that really stunts your late game progression. So. Not to mention the Alchemist getting a Shadow Blade isn't helping matters much. Mushi's all over the place right now. He's got a haste. He almost found the Weaver. And you can see NATUS, they just poke out a little bit. It's like a Congo line of 5 heroes just looking for the opening. But the Congo line isn't working. They're not finding any pickoffs. And maybe now we see DK go. No, not yet. They're fencing. They're getting to that point. Heart picked up on the Timbersaw. Midnight Pulse is becoming even more important.
Okay, so iceiceice has 30 armor with ice armor on before reactive armor even kicks in.
24 is bonus. He is probably, I would say, almost certainly more important than their Warblade. He's definitely a lot taken. And they find Demon, 1437. He left the base. He may well pay. They throw everything right out the Timber. Where's the backup? It's gotta come soon. Enigma's gone. There's no black hole. There is an echo. Oh wow! Well, huge damage. Burning melts. That's not enough for DK! They're actually getting overrun! The Chain Frost comes through, there's no Timber, there's a buyback from the Morph who wants to rejoin the fight, and where's the opening for Bernie? He's gonna walk back down mid, he's not even close to engaging. What an Earth Splitter! What an Echo! The Taurens are holding on! They're doing it against all odds.
This game is just Astral Spirit, seriously.
Earth Splitter, Astral Spirit, and the Echo Slams. They didn't even have a black hole in it, and the Morphling just exploded.
They're gonna get Roche though, Burning Bot back, and with all these big ultimates used by NATUS, it will be the prize here for DK, but it's really impressive to see this fight. It's just such a cool lineup from NATUS. You almost feel sorry for them that they don't get to play this lineup from ahead or even terms, because that's when these explosive fights, you can just 5-man wipe and actually go and run really aggressively. But
like, imagine if the Enigma had a BKB.
Yeah.
Jesus. At the very least, he gets off a Midnight Pulse and tanks some damage there. Maybe he even fights the black hole. It's the Timbersaw that's the biggest threat. Honestly, the Morphling just explodes. You know, one of the ways that we've seen teams try to deal with the late game Elder Titan Morphling matchup is just get more plus armor auras. So Vlad's, they do have one of those. I've even seen a Morphling pick up an Assault Caress, which I honestly think is a pretty good choice in this matchup. You don't really need more damage. He already hits like a truck, but it also helps you break the base with the minus armor on buildings. We have not seen that, but I guess they do have the Alkin, and he will be the one looking towards it. Bottom lane, this is where they go. Fog, caught up by the Chakram. There's a black hole though. Are they gonna commit it just for the Timbersaw? They really don't want to. 1437 blinks in, then he thinks a lot better of it, and he backs off. So they find a free pickoff, albeit only on the Shadow Shaman.
And they actually used the pipe and the mech for that, so DK might be able to try to go for high ground, but I don't even know when DK can go for high ground. Like, it seems like they can have all the odds in their favor, and then
they have to finagle their way in.
Just makes them disappear. Maybe split pushing is the solution. Burning in the top lane, the others in the bottom lane. They don't want to burn their entire
Stick around, Burning. That was, he bought back. Well, oh, he's gonna retreat out now. He's gonna work his way through Braxton. Well, a waveform to the south. The team takes the bottom tower. He's kiting them like a magician, creating space. Earth Splitter comes through, but well, the Rack's already starting to drop pretty quickly. He'll come in for a plink here or there. The Enigma still searching for his openings, but Mushi won't let him find one. He's going to initiate. Can drop the coil if he doesn't get chain stun. He will though. He drops the gem as well. Look for the Enigma. He's trying to find that opening. Can't quite do it just yet. And well, in the end, only iceiceice took the opening. Not the one he wants. They'll be forced back. DK, they strike. They get their first lane of racks here. And Snakey will BKB and chase. But it's on to iceiceice, who's far too tanky for this. They stun. The Echo Slam comes through. It is It's on Birdie, but remember, this time he's got Aegis, even though the buyback's cooling down, and he's still alive. He shotguns Fog, he goes back in, it's just space created while the team gets out.
He might die here, actually, if they have any sort of damage. Look at this damage onto the Morphling!
They're gonna lose the Morph, but, well, Synderen, now he's dead for 95 seconds. Is it enough? That's the question. Can they push out now? I don't really think they can. Honestly.
They're 30,000 gold and 40,000 experience behind, and they're still winning fights.
They just can't do anything. They killed the Morphling. He's not even really the carry. It's the Timbersaw, the Alchemist. They're doing more in these fights, and Bernie is just drawing them back and distracting while the team does the rest. He's playing his role perfectly, and Navius just don't have great split push. They don't have great counter push. They have a Weaver who's all single target. There's no Naga this game. There's no PL. There's really not much to take advantage. They win the fight in some sense, but they can't capitalize. It wasn't even a convincing win at that. It's like, maybe a slight win.
Oh, it's still pretty good. They got the Morph twice, which is quite an accomplishment, right? But what is Snake King building? A Lincoln's? Why?
They need damage.
They need damage! I'm trying to, like, what's he, is it the shotgun he's afraid of so that he wants to block it, or the hex from the truck? Maybe, I mean, it makes sense if he can get into the, if it secures him to get into BKB, but, you know, it's kind of weird to say they need damage when you see how fast the Morphling falls, but at the end of the day...
Your Elder Titan aura does not work on buildings. You're not killing their base quicker.
And they're putting so much pressure on themselves to play the perfect fight every time. If they don't play the perfect fight, he doesn't have enough damage. If he went for a Daedalus, for example, here, then maybe even though they don't combine their spells perfectly, he still gets like an opening to hit a couple of times.
He just bought a Lincolns. He can't die now. Can they break it? Do they have anything else to break it? Well, they need more. Chivas comes through, and oh, now they go. There's no hex. They just use that to chop through the Lincolns, and Snakecade will time lapse and then retreat. Enigma's joining him as well. They're trying to give the king some support, and he will make his way out. They don't have, without the Morphling there, there's really not much to deal with it. Lich can as well, I suppose.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But it's like Lincoln's, then you need 2 more items, and then maybe a one fight can translate into objectives.
Just buy a Rapier Snaking.
I think he needs one.
Do it!
A big damage. Do it! At least a Daedalus, but it's not a bad Rapier game, honestly.
No game is a bad Rapier game.
Until you drop
every game in 60 minutes with Weaver is a Rapier game. That's how it is.
It does make your buyback time lapse a little bit underwhelming.
Time was bought by Navi US. What are they going to use it for? They're going to farm a bit of Ancients here. The best thing for them is if they can somehow get out into their jungle and get a little farm. You see Enigma trying to find a bit here. 1.37 with the Eidolons, but at the end of the day, without any sort of... The problem is, like you said, every time the fight comes to them from DK, there's no collateral. They win a fight, when are they going to cross the river? It's a problem that they have to address at some point. And when they start crossing the river, DK are still really far ahead. So they'll win the fight on their own turn.
It's so hard for Navius right now. They're only down 1 lane of Rax. But it's just the nature of the game. At this point, before DK attempt anything, they're probably waiting for 4 or 5 buybacks and making sure all of the cores have them. And in comes iceiceice. Well, out goes iceiceice.
Wow!
He's leveling up the snake.
He uses his BKB.
Mercy, please. MMY drops a ward. Are they going to jump him? This is a Lich they're engaging onto, and they may lose their Enigmas to trade. But in comes Korok. Echo to connect. Odan land him. The stun will come on himself, and he will go down. iceiceice. Oh, he can't finish him. The Chain Frost is there again, canceling the black hole and annihilating at least the Enigma. But do they find more is the question. The Morphling's going to jump back in. Burning. Kills off one. Now looks for Korok, who's on the retreat out, and he's being pursued. And when Navi US are trying to run, they're going to struggle against the Chasers. The Rax are exposed. Can they hold serve here? That's the question. Looking at buybacks, they've got it on the Enigma, but he's already used the black hole. He's not offering much now, Sins. He'll buy back.
Midnight Pulse?
Actually, it is a decent amount.
Midnight Pulse.
Here we go. Shotgun onto Snakecade, just to try and discourage his aggression. Time lapse forced out, and now the chase is on. If they kill this Enigma again, they're really under the gun, and the dive begins. Not a full commitment though. Just focus on the objectives. focus on the Rex. The creeps are marching in bottom lane at DK. They need to win bad, and they can tell, they can smell it, they can taste it. It's getting close, but it's not here yet. In comes Fogged again. Focus on Burning. Eye on the prize. Can they finish him off? He's still got 5x. They're gonna have to fight their way through him twice. They haven't done it yet. Korok, another stop, but Burning's gonna Manta dodge through it and blows up Snake King. The King has fallen, and Navi US are being overrun. In comes the Spirit, still not enough. Morphling backing off, focusing on the range tracks. Now they go in again. They get the melee. The range dropping low, hasn't fallen yet, and DK will sound the retreat. They lost iceiceice for that. They bought back on the AUG, but they force out 2 buybacks from Navi US. Navi US has to use Black Hole, and now it is tower defense the rest of this game for Navi.
It's been tower defense for 30 minutes, or at least for 20.
Now it's real. This is like level 100.
I don't think I've ever seen a team defend this well with a 40k deficit. 40k gold, 30,000 experience, and they're still holding. Navi are actually playing absolutely incredibly. I think they're playing better than DK right now. Like, they're playing better, but they're just so far behind that they can't win. But the way they're rotating their 4-staff usage to get heroes out of trouble, the way they combine their abilities, their movements, the way they make decisions based on when to initiate, how to use their cooldowns, it's top tier play. But they lost too much early on, and this is not top tier play.
Snake King, don't die now, my friend. You can't afford it. Lanham will beat KB.
Oh boy, that was really close. That would have been the game right there. He does not have 5.
He's got a 4-second.
I don't know. It maybe wouldn't have been game. Like,
it might already be. He doesn't have buyback, so that's probably it. There's no Black Hole. No Black Hole, no Weaver. And, well, we could see TI4's had some longer games. It's been, it just shows, I think, how close all the teams are at this event. Longer games generally to me mean teams are more evenly matched, more than anything, but, well, that's a story for another day. For now, it's all about DK. They'll wait for the Roche. And Burning. He's got another Eagles song here, probably looking at the completed butterfly, and buyback still available.
This has to be on the top of all-time last hits on Timbersaw. He's out-farmed the Morphling.
He's creating a lot of space here as well.
It was an off-lane Timbersaw with now 500 last hits.
And he's been he died a lot in the laning
He has
stage.
8 deaths in total. 4 of them was in the lane.
A lot of them have created space though. Even Burning's deaths, I feel, or distractions have created space. The carries are just drawing the enemy team around while the rest of the team works on the buildings. And they need it too. They get a butterfly now on Burning. And with this, the base will fall a bit faster. A lot of attack speed, and a decent amount of extra damage for his illusions. 40k gold, it's official. This might be the biggest gold lead in the history of Dota. Definitely the biggest I've ever seen in a game.
I think I've seen a bit more than this, but
it's up there.
I don't think I've ever seen 50, so can DK do it?
Well, DK, can they stall this game long enough to break some records? Make it happen, DK. Your fans are praying. They know the Roche is up now. And
I think the fans are praying for a victory, not for records, but
records and victory. That's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, there's also an Ags on Lich. We haven't had a chance to talk about that at all.
He just got it.
Okay.
Actually, he hasn't used the Axe chain for us.
So we could see the perma bouncing chain draw. Would be exciting.
Dire's top barracks
Oh my god, this
are under
Timbersaw,
attack.
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Dire's
4,000
top
health,
barracks has fallen.
31 armor with ice armor. That's without his reactive armor at all.
And the range rack's not.
He's got more than 50, yeah, they're gonna get it. And Roche will fall. He just goes to Mushi. Who's gonna get the cheese? They're gonna give it to MMY.
I like this. Mushi is the one who's going to jump in and start the fights.
He's generally dying. Or
Snake King?
He's got 4
Snake King?
Really
Snake King! Well, 4-second BKB down. Not
That's
the
50 seconds of downtime. He wanted to go out and buy his Demon Edge, I guess, but DK aren't letting him. He can't get out of the map, so maybe he should just buy the Crystallis in base so he has some sort of value, because the fight is coming up now and he needs to have every single bit of damage that he can get.
I love the stay gun from iceiceice. It works really well with the Morphling.
It's one of the best luxury items on Timbersaw in the late game. It's really good. Since you stay alive for so long and you jump around a lot, you're always in the range for a target. You don't need any more tank items. It's just an additional bit of burst, a quite significant bit when it's taken level 5 as this is, so it's generally one of the better late game items.
Oh, there's the Hex that goes on to Burning. He does have buyback available.
Oh my god!
Burst Splitter! It's all used just for the B-God. But now he buys back.
That was only Echo Slam and Earth Splitter. They still have Black Hole. They still have Mass Serpent Wards. By the way, the Veil on Fog, I don't think we've talked about really. amplifies their damage a lot as well. And well, if they get burning again, then I think DK will have to retreat once more. But
then I think DK will just wait for the buyback cooldown.
I think this is where it all ends.
Well, Navi US. Now they have to defend. This is their last lane of Rex. Lose this without a trade, and it's checkmate. They'll even use the replicants with Siege. The Alchemist will be the one in, but not the real hero. Just the illusion. Why commit when you could just chill? Land him. They'll slap chop it down. One more right click. They'll have to deny it now. They'll accept the tower's fate. Down it goes.
Has been denied.
Mushi's still waiting for his opening, and there's really no hurry, Sin. They can let the creeps push the top and bottom, and another zap. 1437. He's got to go in soon. He's looking for a black hole. Is he going to find a good one? No. He's going to be forced to use it. Actually, the Alk's going to solo him. The Bash Bros descend, and the Enigma's the price. And this is with Rax mid, now exposed. Still not taken, though. Buyback from the Enigma. They'll reset. They'll look for round 2. Navi US holding strong for now. Where's that Hexamushi? It's, well, not going to do anything here. He'll be forced back. It was cooling down. Just buying time while the creeps march to the top. This is
It's like unbelievable.
the longest game of tower defense you will ever see. It's not over yet, but it's getting there. One by one, objectives fall. It may take 10 minutes in between them, but it's always DK taking the objectives. Navi US, it's a grueling effort to hang on. Again, iceiceice into the front line, just zap Breck and look to go. Finally, Burning commits, but they gotta be careful. Burning doesn't have buyback. The Echo there on an illusion. What a disaster for Korok. Not what the doctor ordered for Navi. And now they're being run over. Mushi takes a few auto attacks. They still haven't actually taken the Rex. Snaking. Driven back to the well. The Chakram comes out, zoning them off. That's the third lane of Rex. Exposed. Melee brought down. Range through to follow. They're kiting around these Timbersaw, the Elder Titan stops. They can't do it. DK finally get a win on day 3. But man, did they have to work for it or what? Oh, that was exhausting just to cast.
No, it was a pretty amazing game to watch just because DK play a clearly superior early game, great movements, great decision making, they get the objectives, they get extremely far ahead, and then with a 25,000 gold lead, they struggle to end the game for 20 minutes straight.
By the way, the Chain Frost is still bouncing.
Oh yeah, it's going to keep going now. The Navi team, absolutely amazing defense. You've got to commend them on that. Like, if they weren't behind by as much as they were because of the amazing early